Good evening and welcome to TC Network. I am Tingnay Tim Hoki bringing you today's news. Today's top headlines include COTU Group served 48-hour deadline for withdrawal of paramilitary forces rushed from Infal to Kangpopi. COTU Women's Organization files complaint against security forces over Cyal incident. Fire damages over 15 houses in COTU lands Moret Town, 2 injured. News in details. 2 days after SP of Kangpopi district was injured in a public attack, the Committee on Tribal Unity COTU, a COTU organization in Manipur, on Sunday served a deadline of 48 hours for withdrawal of all paramilitary forces from the COTU-dominated districts, which were rushed in recently from Infal. Manipur police on Friday night said the SP of Kangpopi, Manos Prabhakar, was injured after a mob went berserk during a protest program called by COTU with a demand for the withdrawal of paramilitary forces from the Cyal area in Kangpopi. The COTU also imposed an indefinite economic blockade on National Highway 2 connecting the Meitei-dominated valley with the hills and a shutdown with a demand for the withdrawal of paramilitary forces from Cyal, which were rushed in from Infal recently. The organization, however, decided to withdraw the economic blockade after a battalion of the CRPF was reportedly withdrawn from Cyal. The battalion was replaced by another one, which was already deployed in Kangpopi. Additional CRPF and BSF troops were rushed from Infal to the Cyal area recently after suspected COTU insurgents allegedly opened fire on Meitei villages in Infal East that shares a boundary with Kangpopi. Police said many armed militants were flushed out and several bunkers were dismantled from the area by the troops. But COTU claimed that CRPF and BSF teams were rushed from Infal in order to harass the COTU persons who were guarding their villages against possible attack by armed militants belonging to the Meitei community. The COTU would be forced to resort to a more stringent mode of agitation until and unless the remaining central paramilitary forces deployed from the valley is withdrawn from the said regions or areas within 48 hours from the time of withdrawal of economic blockade, COTU said in a statement on Sunday. The Meitei-dominated valley and the COTU-dominated hill districts have remained physically divided since the Meitei-COTU conflict erupted in May 2023.
No, we don't have to take consent of anybody. This is my country. This is my country. This is my country. So, to be very frank, this is my country. This is India, and I will maintain the territorial integrity of my country. See, let us see. Don't get into confrontation now. No. We will not listen to your this thing. We have been given a mandate. We have been ordered to stay here. We will stay here. Come what may. At least we need to now you have to trust us. We don't take orders from local police. We don't take orders from local police. We don't take police orders from army. We have got our own mandate. We are an independent entity. And from the central government we have done.
Why don't you come and discuss with us before?
See, that discussion phase has already gone. That discussion has already gone.
You also have to consult.
Today they came, they tried to storm the campus.
More than 250 people have died and over 60,000 others have been displaced due to the conflict. Sporadic incidents of violence have kept the state on the boil despite the presence of a large number of central forces including the army. The COTU Women Organization for Human Rights cohort has lodged a complaint with the Superintendent of Police, Kangpopi District, Manipur, accusing security forces of unlawful occupation, assaults and human rights violations in New Cyal and surrounding COTU tribal villages. The organization has demanded immediate action and accountability from the authorities. According to the complaint, on December 29, 2024, personnel from the CRPF led by Nanlal SC 189BN, Hari Narayan DC 49BN, and Atharva DC 49BN, BSF and Manipur police entered the villages without consent from local authorities, civil society organizations or administrative bodies. The force allegedly occupied the area under Imphali's district jurisdiction, disregarding tribal protocols. The organization has further accused the security forces of firing rocket launchers at peacefully assembled tribal COTU women in New Cyal village on December 28, 2024. Over 60 women reportedly sustained injuries following clashes with security forces on December 31, 2024. One woman, Naisy 44, suffered permanent blindness in her left eye, while others endured fractures and severe injuries requiring hospitalization during the class. Key demands by the cohort include: first, immediate withdrawal of security forces from affected villages. Second, removal of illegal bunkers and camps allegedly set up by militants. Third, reorganization of police jurisdiction in the Cedar Hills Autonomous District. Fourth, prosecution of officials, including CRPF officers and police personnel involved. Fifth, compensation for victims, particularly Naisy Mate, along with job assurances for her family. A massive fire broke out at Mon Bank in the Morit Ward No. 2 under the Morit Police Station in Tingnopal, Kukilan. The fire completely ripped apart 7 houses, destroying properties worth lakhs of rupees on night, a report of the Morit Fire Services head office said on Sunday. 2 persons who tried to douse the devastating fire also sustained injuries. 4 fire tenders, 2 from the Morit Fire Service Station and an equal number of fire tenders from Tamu of Myanmar, were pressed into service, but the deadly fire had already destroyed the 7 semi-paka houses. The fire that started from a short circuit and additionally burst into 2 gas cylinders led to the devastation of the wooden portions of the semi-paka house belonging to one Mamang Totang, a resident of Mon Bank of the Morit Ward No. 2 at around 10:30 p.m. on Sunday. The tongue of fire had soon spread its tentacle and destroyed all 7 houses. 2 fire tenders from the Morit Fire Service Station, led by its officer in charge, Isha Ahmed, on reaching the report press into services to douse the flames. But the fire had almost caused extensive damage to the flame, and almost all the wooden structures of the house were badly damaged. With the enforcement of 2 fire tenders from the Myanmar side managed to douse the fire. However, the firefighters managed to prevent the horrendous flame from being further spread to the adjoining areas and houses. 2 COTU tribals, namely Si Chongloy and his wife, sustained injuries in the incident. The husband was rushed to the Churachandpur District Hospital, and his wife was given treatment at Morit Primary Health Care. The houses destroyed in the fire belonging to Mamang Totang, Tangkulet Totang, Tangsay Totang, Letminsay Chongloy, Ahil Mang Haukip, Paukulal Baite, and Dizang Kulin. A fire service official said that a team from the head office is at present assessing the properties lost in the devastating fire. Ultimate, the coaching institute Tuibung inaugurates its 1-month free coaching for SSC GD Crash Course today at its premises. This GD Crash Course is arranged mainly for the IDPs who cannot afford to pay coaching fees. Paulin Lalhaukip, MLA 59 Saikot, who is the chief guest of this inaugural event, has arranged these free coaching courses especially for the IDPs and the downtrodden section of the society who are inspired to write the exam. Paulin Lalhaukip, who is also known as the People's MLA, have been engaged in lots of charity and developmental works for his people. The class timing will be from 12 noon till 2 p.m. Registration has been open since December 20. So many aspirants have registered for the crash course. The aspirants expressed their heartfelt gratitude to the MLA for giving them one-of-a-kind opportunity. Haukip in his speech says that this free coaching class is arranged for 200 students, and we hope at least 10 to 15 of them through the exam. He encouraged the students to have great perseverance and work hard to attain success. He requested the students not to depend only on the coaching classes but to also study at home and ask all their doubts to their teachers. Our society has been greatly infested with corruption and selfishness, and he taught the students to turn away from such evils. The SSC GD examination 2025 will be conducted in the month of February. In a region already struggling with unrest, the Guardian's report suggests that Sterling's satellite internet has been used by both civilians and militant groups in conflict-ridden Manipur, India. While the extent of its use remains uncertain, multiple sources have confirmed its operation in areas affected by the ongoing ethnic conflict. First-hand accounts from both security agencies and civilians reveals that Sterling has been functional in parts of Manipur despite the state's effort to curb internet access during times of hate and tension. According to a report by The Guardian, which cited information from militia groups and the state police, Sterling has been a tool leveraged by both the Meitei People's Liberation Army (PLA) and local residents to stay connected when traditional internet services were suspended. One individual, a member of the PLA, shared the group initially used Sterling in Myanmar and later realized that the satellite service was working with certain areas of Manipur as well. This allowed them to bypass the internet shutdowns imposed by the authorities. Further reports indicated that civilians too have been using Sterling devices to access internet in areas where connectivity has been restricted. A resident of Imphal, the state's capital, recounted how they were shocked to see a Sterling device functioning during a complete internet blackout in the region. It was the period when the internet was turned off in our region. I was surprised to see the internet working when I connected my own phone, person said. Despite these accounts, Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX, quickly dismissed the claim, stating that Sterling satellite beams are turned off over India, effectively denying that the service was being used in the country. This prompted further speculation regarding the real extent of Sterling's operations in conflict zones, especially given reports from the ground. In a follow-up report, security sources in Manipur confirmed the use of Sterling internet by both militants and civilians. However, SpaceX, the company that operates Sterling, declined to comment on the matter. While mass denial cast doubt on the full scale of Sterling's involvement, the accounts from local sources suggest a complex reality where satellite internet, irrespective of official statements, continues to function in parts of a state caught in the throes of ethnic strife. The true reach and impact of Sterling in Manipur remain unclear, but its presence seems undeniable amidst the ongoing conflict. A group of 26 Myanmar nationals who have crossed into India through Manipur's porous border were deported back to their home country earlier today. The government of Manipur emphasized its commitment to extending humanitarian assistance to individuals fleeing conflict, ensuring their safety and dignified treatment during their stay. However, the administration reiterated its strict policy against permitting illegal migrants to remain in the state, highlighting the need to balance compassion with adherence to immigration laws. Authorities confirmed that the deportation process was carried out in coordination with relevant agencies, ensuring compliance with protocols. The Manipur police arrested 3 individuals in 2 different operations, reiterating the commitment of security forces to restoring peace and ensuring public safety. In one operation, the security personnel arrested a cadre of the band outfit Kangleipak Communist Party from Wabagay area in Kakching district. The individual was arrested in connection with extortion activities in Kakching areas. The arrested person was identified as Thonau Jam Johnson Singh 42, a resident of Wabagay Leirak Atoba. In another operation carried out by the security forces, 2 persons were arrested with suspected WY tablets and brown sugar in Churachandpur district. A 4-wheeler was also intercepted from Huga Mata village under Churachandpur police station. The arrested duo were identified as P. Thangkhan Lam 45 and Manglian Kup 32. From their possession, the police recovered the following items: 60 soft cages of suspected brown sugar weighing 776 grams approximately, 537 tablets of suspected WY tablet weighing 60 grams, 4-wheeler. Moreover, in a bid to maintain vigil in the state, the security personnel carried out search operations and area domination exercises in the fringe and vulnerable areas of hill and valley districts. Movement of 331 vehicles carrying essential items along National Highway 2 was ensured, while strict security measures were taken up in all vulnerable locations. Security convoy has been provided in sensitive stretches in order to ensure free and safe movement of the vehicles. 106 nakas or checkpoints were installed in different districts of Manipur, both in the hill and the valley, and no one was detained by the police. In a significant development of Manipur's logistics and infrastructure, 2,390 metric tons empty of cement arrived at the Hongsang railway station. This marks another step forward in improving the state's supply chain through rail connectivity. With good transportation by train steadily increasing, this initiative is expected to ease the availability of essential commodities, ensuring a more reliable and efficient supply chain for Manipur. The arrival of the cement consignment underscores the growing importance of railway infrastructure in supporting the state's economic growth and development projects. Authorities and stakeholders are optimistic that enhanced rail connectivity will continue to play a pivotal role in meeting the state's logistical demands. Two BJP leaders were killed after a dumper hit their car in Odisha's Sambalpur district in the early hours of Sunday, police said. The victims were identified as Debendra Nayak and Muralidhar Churai. Nayak was BJP's Gosala Mandal president, while Churai is a former Sarpanch. Both of them were close to senior BJP leader Nauri Naik. The incident happened around 1:30 a.m. on National Highway 53 in the Burla police station area. There were 6 people in the car, including the driver, and they were returning home in Kardula from Bhubaneswar, police said. All 6 persons were taken to a nearby hospital where doctors declared 2 of them dead. The injured were undergoing treatment there. Suresh Chandra, who was injured in the accident, alleged, "The vehicle hit our car from behind twice. Suspecting someone trying to hit our vehicle intentionally, the driver turned the car towards a rural road from the highway near Kantapalli Square. Still, the dumper chased our vehicle and hit it badly. As a result, the car overturned." Chanda said he was conscious till the dumper hit their car twice on the highway, but lost sense when it hit the 3rd time. "I am sure that someone intentionally caused the accident. By mistake, one can hit a vehicle once. Why would someone be hit twice from behind?" asked the injured BJP worker. After visiting the injured persons, Naik, a former MLA of Rengali, alleged that it was not an accident but a deliberate collision. "Someone has deliberately hit their vehicle twice," he claimed. SP Mukesh Kumar Bamo said, "We have seized the dumper and detained its driver. As the family members of the victims alleged that it was done intentionally, we will investigate that angle." A tragic accident occurred in Tirupati on Monday, January 6, when a 108 ambulance collided with a group of pilgrims, resulting in the death of 2 women and injuries to 3 others. According to reports, the ambulance hit a group of devotees who were walking toward the Tirumala temple. The incident took place near Narsingpuram in the Chandragiri Mandal. The deceased women were identified as Peda Redama, 40, and Laxmama, 45, residents of Champalapalli village in Ramapuram Mandal of Annamaya district, as reported by ABP News. The 3 injured pilgrims were rushed to Ruai Hospital in Tirupati for treatment. The pilgrims were walking from Punganur to the Tirumala Temple of Lord Venkateswara when the accident took place. The ambulance was reportedly transporting a patient from Mandanapalli to Tirupati at the time. A video of the ambulance posted on X by Chota News, a local news portal, shows the maze to the front bumper on its co-passenger side. While the exact cause of the accident is yet to be determined, police suspect dense fog in the area may have played a role. Chandragiri police have registered a case and launched an investigation into the incident. In another unfortunate event, 2 women lost their lives in a house fire in the Bapatala district of Andhra Pradesh on Sunday, January 5. The incident occurred late at night in Turpu Bazar, Puruchur. The fire claimed the lives of 2 sisters, Nagamani, 34, and Madhavi Latha, 30, while their mother sustained injuries and was hospitalized. Preliminary investigation suggests that a short circuit might have caused the fire. Local authorities are conducting further inquiries to confirm the case. In 2024, over 750 children have tragically lost their lives due to the junta regime's airstrike in Myanmar. The ongoing civil war has severely impacted the health and education of children, with more than 1 million lacking access to vital polio vaccinations and over 5 million missing crucial educational opportunities. UNICEF highlights in its annual report that approximately 6 million children urgently require humanitarian assistance as conditions in the country continue to worsen. UNICEF Myanmar urgently appeals to further donations, emphasizing that the funds received thus far only cover 23% of its objectives for 2025. Your support can make a significant difference in the lives of these children, ensuring they receive the care and opportunities they desperately need. Russia has vowed retaliation after claiming to have shot down 8 US-made ATACMS missiles fired by Ukraine on Saturday morning. Moscow sees the use of such missiles, which have a range of up to 300 kilometers, as a major escalation. The country's air defenses shot down the 8 ballistic missiles alongside 72 aircraft type unmanned aerial vehicles, Russia's Ministry of Defense said. It added that these actions by the Kiev regime, which is supported by Western curators, will be met with retaliation. The statement said several drones were destroyed in the Leningrad region in the northwest and one in the Kursk, where Ukraine launched a surprise attack late last summer. The outgoing U.S. President Joe Biden approved Kiev's use of ATACMS in November, saying in part it was in response to Russia expanding the conflict by deploying North Korean troops. Russian President Vladimir Putin has threatened to respond Ukrainian strikes using ATACMS with Russia's new nuclear-capable ballistic missile, Oresnik. Last month, Putin suggested that it could be fired at the capital, Kyiv, as a test of Western supplied air defense systems. The first and only launch of the experimental weapon targeted Ukraine's Dnipro region on the morning of November 21. The Ukrainian drone attack forced temporary restrictions to be introduced at an airport in St. Petersburg, Russian state media agency TASS reported. The governor of Leningrad Oblast said in a statement on Telegram that the night and morning of January 4 were record-breaking in terms of the number of UAVs destroyed, with 4 shot down over his region. A Ukrainian security official, Andriy Kovalenko, said a seaport in Leningrad was targeted, calling it an instrument of economic and military survival for Russia in isolation. Meanwhile, Russia launched a total of 81 drones at Ukraine overnight on Friday into Saturday, according to Ukraine's Air Force Command, including Iranian-made Shahed drones and various types of imitation drones. Some 34 Shahed attack UAVs and other types of drones were down, according to a statement, although the downed drones caused damage in the Chernihiv and Sumy regions. Ukraine enters the year on the back foot in the conflict, which began in February 2022, with Russia making gains on the eastern front lines. Russia's defense ministry said on Saturday that its forces had taken control of the village of Nadia in Ukraine's eastern Luhansk region. In Donetsk, the hub of Pokrovsk is undergoing Russian pressure as Ukraine forces lost ground to the south and east of the town. Ukraine is also concerned that the incoming Trump administration could cut vital military aid. Trump himself has vowed to end the conflict. Israeli warplanes and drones bombed more than 100 sites across the Gaza Strip over the weekend, the Israeli military said in a statement, with Palestinian health officials reporting nearly 200 fatalities. In the statement, the military said on Sunday that the airstrikes were directed at militant targets, including lone sites allegedly used to fire 3 rockets towards Israel on Friday, Xinhua news agency reported. The strikes reportedly killed dozens of Hamas fighters, according to the Israeli Defense Force and Shin Bet. The Hamas-run Gaza media office reported on Saturday evening that at least 184 people were killed during about 92 Israeli airstrikes and shelling incidents over the weekend. Earlier on Saturday, the Hamas-run Gaza media office said that the Israeli army carried out 94 airstrikes and shelling on the Gaza Strip over the past 72 hours, killing 184 people. In its statement, the office described the escalation as dangerous and brutal, targeting unarmed civilians and residential areas, particularly in Gaza City. It added that many of the victims, either killed or injured, remain trapped under rubble, with the maze infrastructure obstructing their recovery and access to hospitals. Palestinian and civil defense officials in Gaza confirmed that Israeli airstrikes had intensified violently over the past 3 days, which local residents have described as extraordinarily difficult period. The statement held the Israeli army fully responsible for those horrific crimes and also criticized the U.S. administration for providing Israel with weapons and political support. It called on the international community and the UN Security Council to uphold their legal and moral obligations by dispatching independent investigative teams to document these heinous crimes and ensure accountability for the perpetrators. That is all for today's news, and have a pleasant evening ahead.